Hello and welcome to this month's video. Today we're going to be looking at some showreels. First we're going to look at a really good one, and then secondly we're just going to be looking at one that kind of gets the job done. And we're going to look at the difference between what makes something brilliant and what makes something just, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We want to be in the brilliant realm here, right? So this video was made on the back of Studio River being asked to introduce their studio at a Motion Plus Design event, and rather than just creating another showreel, they decided to make this video, which they've called a Manifesto video. One thing that differentiates it a lot is the footage, and the animation that they've used within this has been specifically created for the showreel. So it still shows the breadth of what they can do, but it's very specific to the story.
Manifesto. 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 Okay, this is not toothpaste. No, it's definitely not a moustache. No, a poo, obviously. Not even a bloody maggot. It's a fucking way. We are not. On est creative. We are French. Wait for it. Two. Ha ha ha. Very good.
So the whole idea behind this piece is this little kind of river design that they have, and they're just kind of playing around with that and showing exactly what they can do. And there's so many different styles that they have, but the way that they manage to link them all together is through using these tiny little transitions between scenes that you wouldn't necessarily notice until you really look at it. They even managed to fit in some interview footage, and it doesn't feel that out of place. It kind of fits in naturally with the rest. It's cheeky and purposeful, the way that they both kind of look to camera and do a little bit of a wink. It's cute, and it like gives you a second to pause before you carry on with the rest of the video. These transitions are super quick, but if we play it frame by frame, here for example, you have this very futuristic kind of animation style, and then it's only a couple of frames, but you get some strokes of the next style coming in, which transitions us into the next one. And when you play it back,
Indeed, from France.
it might not be something that you necessarily notice, but when you watch the video as a full piece, all of those little details are the thing that kind of brings it together. As well as that, we can use this same transition as an example, is the sound design that they've added on. So if you listen, you can hear like a whoosh for transitioning from one scene to the next.
Yes, indeed, from France.
And it's more than just a whoosh, actually. It's because it's a tube that they're on.
Yes, indeed, from France.
They've actually made it sound like a tube. That's great. The piece kind of is entertaining in and of itself without context, and you've got that like funny personality to guide you through the whole thing. And that's a huge thing that you're trying to get across when you're making a showreel. You want to show your own or your brand's identity and personality, and a voiceover that fits in with the visuals is a very simple way to do that. So I really like this one. Of course, it's a very specific type of a style that doesn't necessarily work for everything. The main thing to take away from it is the attention to detail that in the little transitions and within the sound design. And of course, as always, in the story. Now, to look at a not so good example. I edited this when I first joined Ascential, so I'm allowed to tear it apart. So this is Ascential's showreel. Let's have a look. Okay, so it's not the worst thing. However, it's not great. Doesn't do anything, you know? You just cut from one shot to the next in time with the music. So whilst there is this kind of good element of pacing in time with the music, which kind of makes it exciting for the first, 10 seconds, and then you kind of get a bit like bored and repetitive. It's 1 minute and 20 seconds long of kind of the same shots of corporate events. But I think it's quite rare that anyone would actually sit there and watch that. So I think what we could have done is been a lot more brutal with what we included and cut a bunch of the stuff out. And this could be like 40 seconds long and be much more effective. On top of that, something that we didn't use at all was any transitions. There's like a couple of moments where the footage I had didn't work with the music. So like here, when we have this lady doing chroma yoga, I added a weird little jitter to try and fit it in, but it's just not as well thought out, and there isn't attention to detail like in our other video. At that time, I was ticking boxes. I wasn't thinking about it as kind of an overall piece. So obviously these two videos are very different from each other. One of them is from an animation studio and the other is just showing us video footage that's filmed at events. So it's hard to compare. In the end, this Ascential video just feels kind of rushed. Whereas the Manifesto one has attention to detail. I feel they really care about what they were trying to make. And all of these little details, so especially focusing on the transitions and sound design, are elements that can be taken into consideration for all videos. So for the next videos you want to make, take these little details into consideration, give enough time to pay the special attention to it and take your video from okay to that's a fucking great video. Thank you for watching this YouTube series. We have a bunch more content on our YouTube channel. If you want to go through and watch, we've got some After Effects tutorials. We've got some vlogs of a studio that we created. So go in and have a look around. And yeah, I'll see you next month.